Hello there guys and welcome. So it's Otto here. What we're going to do with you is basically go out in this little mini episode. I'm basically going to create a little mini episode with you, just to help some of you new guys to the game pick up some techniques that might help you become a little bit more successful as a captain. More importantly, even for some of you veterans, so to speak, that generally might do the same old tactic where you're getting in there and you're cutting in front of the convoy, you're going periscope depth and dropping these tops off, which I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's personal preference, but also try and keep with it in some respect, some of the history of the times kind of thing. You know, obviously in certain missions, nighttime missions, a lot of the attacks would have been done on the surface. You know, so we're gonna try and do that as well, but also through the little mini episode is just show a few guys a few techniques, how to go around certain things. So without further ado, then we're going to go out in the U564. There's no other players in this game, it's just purely me. But on the next video that we're going to create after we've done these ones is we are going to basically be playing with a lot of guys and bringing the missions in, you know, so to speak. Hold on a minute, what's going on with this? Why are there little things sticking like way over there? You see the little cursor? It's like not even centered. So I've got to like turn this way to get onto this thing. What the? Okay, that's what we normally do straight away, is just have a quick visual looking around, see if we can see anything. Obviously there's nothing there, so we're going to go to a quick periscope depth just to try and get, and I will stop the engine actually as well, just to try and get a reading on these guys, and we'll try and catch up with the convoy, get in front of them, whatever's going on, we'll try and position ourselves the best we can. So obviously got the bots in doing the work for me. Normally we'd be filling the ballast here at the forward one and the aft. Obviously you can check the planes down if you've still got some momentum. If not, just like the ship will generally go to about 10.5, 11 meters straight away anyway. But like I said, having bots in the game is kind of easy. You know, it's previously when I first started playing this game a year ago, I'd have been able to run left, right and centre, back and forth from the AP downstairs to do this, you know what I mean? I think we've all been there. So let's have a little listen then. Right, okay, so I think we should say around about 330, 325. They are way away. Hear that chug, chug, chug sound, guys? I'm trying to time that to try and get a speed reading. Slowed down then, did you hear that? It slowed down. You could hear the duh, 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 then it went duh, duh. It was like, what? This seems to be like the back of the convoy. That's more the front. I could be wrong, I could be wrong. Either I've gone deaf or I'm not picking this up right. Everything seems slower around about the magnetic 1110. But everything seems faster. It gets around about 70, 60. Which is baffling me. Unless the convoy is just like straightening up and the other ones are pulling in. We can take a little bit of the high pass off. It's not doing that either, is it? And it got to like 10. That'd be like 2 knots or something. Can't be that. That's clearer. We're struggling here, boys, aren't we? We're struggling. I can hear a beat screen like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can hear that beat going dum, 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 dum. I can hear it, but I just can't pick it out clear enough to say, right, that's the speed, you know. Find it with a base. Now we're struggling. See, I can hear that. Something I can't make out clear enough. Like some games you can get it really clear. Some games not so much. Could they be even doing something like that? Check that on a calculator. 15 divided by 4.1. That can't be it. Maybe just a reposition that I need to do. When the calculator loads up on us, so what's going on with this PC? Now it loads up and goes off. What the? There it is. Let's say, what did I say, 15 divided by 4.1. What am I doing? 15 divided by 4.1. Pretty decimal points all over the place here. 3.6. I don't think we're going 3.6, but what we'll do, we'll get a reposition. Bring it 70 degrees on a magnetic course, and we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can rectify this. Because it really does depend on, in terms of obviously where we are, what we're doing, if we're behind them or we're in front of them, or, you know, it can also depend on a lot of things just like that, where you're not getting that clear sound. Obviously things might improve, I don't know. We'll take it as it comes, you know. Alright, so let's get back on this surface first of all. Diesel engines, charged battery, full speed ahead. Let's have a bit of that. I might point out to you as well, guys, in terms of obviously getting these speed readings by hydro, there is no, so to speak, in-game connection. Well, there is a connection, but what I'm trying to explain to you, that people who develop the game, they've not implemented that there for the game. You know, the sound, all they've done is put a sound file to the game itself for the proper rotations. And the thing is, people like myself a year ago, I've come across that sound, and obviously I counted how many that would be within 10 seconds, just out of curiosity, you know. And then what I've done is I've got a visual, and that visual giving me the actual speed of the convoy, and then we've worked out obviously the solution to try and break that 10 seconds into a speed, you know, and we came across the 4.1. But this has not just been done over like one particular game, this has been done over a good few games, you know, with something that I constantly kept doing for like a good few weeks in that sense, just to cross-reference it. And different games were coming up a year ago. Most of the convoy speeds we were looking around about anything from really, you know, 3.5 knots, but generally from 3.5 to about 6 knots. Excuse me. And then what would normally happen once you hit the ships, whatever their previous speed was, they'd generally increase it by about 2 knots. But that would also increase the sound as well. Things was increasing. The only thing is, it never worked for escorts. It only ever worked for your merchants. And you can check out previous videos that I've got as well with this. Obviously, things do. It does work. It is something that is actually in the game. The connection is there. It does work. It's just getting that clear sound where you can hear it. Yes, I've got a decent headset, 7.1 surround, so it's like I can hear things that are there. Albeit today it doesn't seem so, does it? So we've got a general idea where the convoy is. We're going to head towards them. Obviously we are on now full on the surface. We've blown all the ballast. But obviously when we get visual in that sense, we'll basically vent ballast, fill it up with some with water in that sense to lower the profile, which then going to allow us to get closer to the convoy because of this moon, you know. It was still going to be lit up, as you can see. You're looking there. When you probably see the convoy in a moment anyway, when we do see it, and you can see how bright it actually does look. It's depending where you are. Obviously we're bright over here, it's dark over here, but you're still going to get that. Depending where you're positioned, you're still going to get that shimmer effect, and obviously your ships can be lit up. So it's just knowing your distance from a convoy, and more importantly your distance from destroyers. That's the most important thing. You can't get too close to them, because don't forget, they are the ones that are setting their perimeter for that convoy. They're keeping that convoy on all flanks secure. You will also find these destroyers, they will filter from, let's just imagine where the convoy This is like a destroyer line going up here. This is what their normal course that they'll be following. So what they normally do, they move over to the left, and then they'll go straight again. And then what they'll do after a while, they'll go back to the right and then go straight again. But what you will find is when they come out to the left or to the right, wherever it may be, away from the convoy, that is generally their forest line that they will go. They won't go any further than that, unless someone is detected, and at that point the hunt's on and they're coming for you. You know, that's what happens. But generally speaking, they will hold a certain maximum distance away from a convoy, and they'll just repeat that and keep on repeating that. But I would like the game to try and put that in and maybe vary that, you know, so if someone's got to constantly keep a visual on something like the destroyer, because at the moment the pattern seems kind of predictable. They just do a couple of sweeps and they go out a little bit, and that's as far as they're going to go, you know. Alright then, so visual there on convoy. My eyes aren't that great right now. Obviously the destroyer looks like it's coming this way, but the ships that are there, it's a tricky one. It kind of looks like it's, oh, it's a bit more clear now, the other ship, but it could actually be going away at, I don't know, that angle, so to speak, going away from us. What would that be? It's like if it's going over there, do you know what I mean? When you look at it, yeah, it looks a lot more clearer now. So that means potentially we've got a course from 70, or it's definitely not 70 of it, but we're looking anything around about 50 to about 10, maybe north, but that's what we're going to be looking at right now. But what I'm going to try and do then, obviously we've got a little bit closer to the convoy. I am now just going to try and get a speed reading by hydro once again, just to see if I can hear anything a little bit more clearer than what we've currently got. So I'm going to put myself onto electric engines and slow speed. It's good practice to go slow speed when you're electric, so if you do forget to do so and you're under the surface above slow speed, they're going to hear you, you know. So that's what I generally try to do. So we've not got an actual visual on this convoy right now, in terms of obviously being able to do a speed reading, because we've not got like a good 90-degree angle to the ships to basically do this calculation. There is varied methods to do these calculations if you get something that's like a set angle, but there is maybe a more precise way to do it, but I have different ways that seem to work for myself, not always. But let's just say the ships is not a 90-degree angle to me, but it's like at a 45, so let's just call that basically well, we'll say 40 or something, or even 30, but what I try to do is divide the 90 into 4, and then what I'll do if I get a time, I'll add a set percentage back onto the time. So let's just say it's 50 seconds. What I'll try and do, the 50 seconds, I'll basically add maybe, I don't know, 20% to that, so that'll give me another 10 seconds added to that, and then that'll probably give me the actual speed. But that's it's just something that's trial and error, you know. You can be a bit more precise, but just visually, you know, obviously if you're not getting a 90-degree angle to a ship, you're not going to get the full seconds for the ship to pass your crosshairs, you know. So you can work out the difference in angle and try and be a bit more precise, or estimate a speed. It's preferences, you know, different ways, different things to do. Right, can you hear that? That woo, woo, woo. Right, that's not precise. I got between around about 16 and a half within that 10 seconds, and I counted basically 17 as I got to 1066. Oh, Hastings 1066. That's what I got then. And I'm not actually even on the convoy, am I? get into the 17 when it gets 10.64. Yeah, 17.6. It's one of those that am I not counting it quick enough? Or am I getting a rhythm wrong? I don't know. Like I said, it could be 16, it could be the 16. Obviously, we'll do 2 we get out of 3. Well, I heard that bass there. Did you hear that bass? That's what I like to work off of. Still getting that 16. Right, okay, so let's try 16 then. So 16 divided by 4.1 is giving me a speed of 3.9 knots. 3.9. That's just at a complete estimate there. You know, I just can't work it out. Right, I'll get into 16 clearly under 10 seconds. But as I was counting to 17, like allowing 1 and 2 and 3, and I got to that 16, it was between the ands, you know what I mean? So what would that be then if it would be 16.5? What would that be? Let's have a look. 16.5 divided by 4.1. That'd be 4 knots. To me that's 4 knots, 4.02. So the 4.0, then 244 for 3902, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So it's very close to it's more closer to the 4.0 than the 4.1. So, and I got that twice. Do you know? I counting through it, and I got to the point where I was 16, and then and between the 16 and 17, between the gap, the pause before you mention the next number, it was hitting that. And by the time I said the word 17, it was looking at 1060, 1066, like we previously had. So closest I can get to that then is 4.0, which is basically 16 and a half that I got revolution within 10 seconds. So let's just work with that. Let's just work with that. See what we got. Let's get a visual kind of thing, you know. So back on the surface then. So we're gonna go diesels, charge battery, full speed ahead. I'm gonna try and get in position and get this calculation done visually and see what we get. You know, that's the aim. So the thing is with this as well, you're looking at time now to get in position to try and get this calculation. So I don't know what their course is right now, but I will work that out. But I'm just going to put it on like a 10 degree, well, turn it to 10 degrees just to come alongside that convoy. I'll get there, drop it down to 0, and then do a speed reading on a particular ship that will identify, and we'll take it from there. So let's just give you a little bit of a run through in terms of using your recognition manual. Doing something like this on merchants, my own personal way that I do this, I will start working with the mast and the funnel. Okay, that's where I always start off first of all. People might do it engine placement, then the structure, then islands, and then the mast. You know, it's personal preference, but myself, I will start off with a mast. So the way to identify some of, first of all, why are things not showing on recognition manual? There we are. So on merchants, right. There's variations in mast types. I'm gonna try and find a ship there that's got everything in it. let's start off with this one first of all. Okay, so anything like a radio mast, you would just call a simple mast. If you get this type of shape here, what that would look like would be, it's like a really thick framework, but it also looks like a H. And if you are angled that is not perfectly 90, you will see like the gap within it. You know, you'll see like the gap through the H. You'll be looking through the H. But when you are perfectly 90 degrees on it, it'll just like a really thick mast, and that's what we call a king post. Okay. So this here, obviously a normal mast. That would be a normal mast as well on your recognition manual, and that would be a normal mast as well. A king post, if I could find one that's got one on it, let's have a look. There you go. As you can see the distance, you've got like the H, and that's what we would call like a king post. It's basically a heavy duty crane, really heavy duty crane, and you'll identify them as king posts. Right, so we've got like a decent angle here right now to potentially do a speed reading on a particular ship. But before I do that, I'm going to go through a quick, more detailed information with you. Okay, so let's just say this ship here, obviously you've got your mast, funnel, which is fine. So in this section you would write mast, funnel, there, and it'll filter it through. Then you'll be looking at something, I don't know, like structure, white building here, another white building there, so then that'll be a split. If it had been one big white building on itself, it would be a composite. And that'll identify it, well, basically bring down the pool to try and find the correct ship. Right, I'm happy with this so far, guys. Give me a second, let's just have a quick little look. So, passenger liner, we've got a radio mast, funnel, and a mast. So I'll give you a quick way to do this. So they've got these many ships here. I know which one it is straight away, but I'll just do it for the purpose. So mast, funnel, mast. Click on that, and it'll give me a choice of two ships. We know it's not this one, it's not got a radio mast. We know it's this one, passenger liner 3. So we'll add that to identify a ship. We're looking from waterline to the top of the mast, which is 36, right to the top if you can visually see that. So I'm going to bring this ship now to a full stop. What I'm going to do is put it in full reverse. So we're going to get the props turned the opposite way, as quick as we can, which is full speed astern. RPM's going down here, you can see it. Now at 100 RPM, 50, 0, and then going back the opposite way now, up 50, up 100, and so on and so on. So what I'm going to try and do is basically turn my engines off when I get to run about 4.5 knots. By the time they engage, then it should basically put us on 0 speed once the engines come back to normal, to idle. And we'll get a speed reading. So 5 knots, click, and stop. Ooh, well, just on the 4, we might go up a knot, we might actually go up by half a knot or something, or 0.2 knots. But what we're doing is waiting for these reds to come down, and that speed to do it at the same time. Oh, it's close. No, we're going to go back up, we're going back up. Yeah, we got back up just. Felt only like 0.2 knots. Let's double check that, I should be a bit more precise on that. 0.1. Oh, look at that. Right, let's get a visual now. So we're going to use this attack periscope to look at that ship and get this speed calculation. So what we'll do is put the crosshair just in front of him, wait until he touches it, and there it is, press it, time is ticking. I will give you the exact information on how to do this in terms of calculation, because what it is basically the length divided by the seconds, and then you'll times it, I think it's by 1.94, but I will double check that in a moment. The angle's off, it's not a perfect 90 degree, so we're going to be fluctuating on this time here. I don't know how much by, depending on the angle, if he's going away from us, we might be like a 0.1 or 2 or 3 off it, you know, depending. We might be on the money because obviously when I started it was 0.1 on the calculation of our own speed. Did they change course? He had a different angle than that a minute ago, didn't he? Well, we shall certainly find out. In time, so 1:23, so that'll be 60, 70, 83 seconds. So 83 seconds. They'll give me a speed of 3.5. But like I said, it did change that course as well. I'm sure that it did. It didn't look precise, did it? The thing is with these missions like 1941, things like that, you do get these fluctuations in course changes, you do get speed changes, you know, so you've got to be, I don't know, a little bit on the ball, so to speak, and just visually watch them. Yeah, it could be, because like I said, we're just about halfway now, so halfway now. That was 38 seconds, so times that by 2, so yeah, so 68, about 72, probably about 72 seconds. So you might have had a course change. Like I said, within that course change, they might need to pick up speed again, you know, who knows? And time. So that is, what, 65? No, 75. So 1 minute 60 seconds plus 15, yep, so 75. It's giving me a speed of 3.9. So we had a calculation, didn't we, previously? I said like we got 16 revolutions within that 10 seconds. But obviously I was counting that half, so I was closer to the 4. The thing is as well, that wasn't an actual true calculation I just done there on speed, because obviously we're not getting a full 90-degree angle to that ship, so we're not getting the full length of that ship passing within that amount of time. We're getting like a limited angle of it, you know, so it's one of those. So we're going with, so if that's the case, then could that be increased by 0.1 or 0.2 knots? I don't know, but we're not getting the full. Well, what I'm trying to explain, if you can imagine a ship here now facing at me 90 degree, for him to pass this way, going this way, and it was 90 degree, I'm getting a full length of that ship, and I'm calculating every single meter. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, if he's going across like an angle, so he's coming in like this diagonal, then I'm getting less of the ship. Do you know what I mean? I'm getting less of the meters, so to speak. It's not expanding into its true like distance, you know, in a way. So there we go then, guys. So we're saying 3.9 with the visual, obviously at an angle. So we're gonna basically increase that, and I probably would increase it 0.1 knot, 0.2 knots, or something like that. So that's what I personally do at that angle that it's giving me right there, because it's not a full 90. But, excuse me, it's not a full 90, but it's pretty much like anything from about an 80-degree angle there. it might even be 75, but 75 to 90, you probably could increase it by 0.1, 0.2 on that speed. So we're going to settle with 4.1, 4.0 for the speed of the convoy. That is what I'm going to do on this occasion. So what we're going to do then, guys, is basically I'm going to end this one right here, and we're then going to jump on to the next part of the recording, but continuing where we left off, okay? So I will just basically end this video and then restart it to the next one. Alright, give me a second.